Let's see. Hey, 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 welcome to the Really Charlie podcast. Today's guest is Bella Montero. Definitely a great author, great person, and I'm so happy to have you on my show. She is an author of a book called Who Am I? Who Am I? It's a great story, something, I want to say good story. Great. We all think that it's happy go lucky, but you know, it's not that. It's got the good, bad, and ugly in it. But it definitely inspired me to kind of write a few of my stories of my own that I have on the shelf. So, welcome, Bella Montero. How you doing
Hello,
today?
I am great. Charlie, thank you for this opportunity to be here with you and also your podcast. And I'm honored to actually be here to talk about my book and to actually finally meet you and have face to face with you.
Hmm. Yes, the same feeling. It's mutual. It was, reading your book. I'm just like, wow, this woman went through a lot. She went through a lot, and but the best thing was is that I didn't have to wait for my book. I ordered it on Kindle, and I was ready. I was able to just read it quickly. So now I have a hard copy. Let me put that in it, and I have the one on the Kindle. So
Mhm.
and which I can read at any time. Um, and so, all right. Um, you were raised in Cape Verde and Angola, and later on in your life, you were in Brockton, Massachusetts, and Providence, and a few other places. Um, what makes it so interesting with where you're from and you writing this book is that you're close to us. You have
Mhm.
Cape Verdean ties, which that's my culture, my heritage, and makes it even more fascinating for me to read it. So, can you give us
Right.
a little background, a little bio for about you, and just so the listeners and viewers could know a little bit about you.
Sure. I am half Cape Verdean and half Angola. I was actually born in Angola, Luanda, Angola, then migrated to Cape Verde Island, island of Fogo, then
Hmm.
to United States at age 11, and living in United States, I lived in different states, such as Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Hawaii, and now I'm currently here in Jersey. Um, when it comes to my career, I have worked 15 years with the U.S. Department of Veterans Administrations. Until 3 years ago, I decided to open my own agency that's called New Horizon Caregiver. We actually provide service to elder, um, especially the ones that are disabled, the ones that suffer from dementia and also Alzheimer's. Our
Okay,
service starts from 3 hours to 24 hours a day. Um, Education, attended Community College of Rhode Island, then transferred to Providence College, and now pursuing my master at Berkeley College.
awesome, awesome, great resume, great. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So
Thank you.
he- here you are. You're in a field where you're able to help some people, and that's the best thing about you know I try to tell people, pick a profession that you're gonna like.
Hmm.
That's not gonna make you sick and stressed out. Take a profession that is gonna make you happy at work, especially with the things that you do.
Right.
Um, yeah. Um, I When I first started reading your book, and you're talking about Angola and the Civil War, and that was definitely a tough time. Especially my dad and my some of his friends and some of the things that they used to talk about, during the Civil War, with Emil Cabral and all the different things that were going on in that region,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people on both ends. I hear some stories from my Portuguese friends that that would tell me stories of people that they lost, and it was a trying times. So, um,
Yeah.
could what was the stories that were told to you when you were trying to so-called escape Angola, and do you know any? I mean, what was it's let me see. That was so intriguing to me, only because I heard some stories, like I said, from my dad and his friends, and that. What do you know? I mean, other than what I mean, you put stuff in your book, but did you? I don't know.
Well,
Go ahead.
what I can say about that is that the story that I know is based what my family or the close one was able to share. It's unfortunate that at that time where most of, you could say the whole Africa was being colonized
Hmm.
by either, the British or the Portuguese, everybody had to do what had to do to be able to find a better life for their family. It's unfortunate that even after they were able, Angola was able to gain the independence, then there were the civil wars with the country itself,
It's
which
true.
lasted until 2002. And from there on, because at that time, Angola was the place where most of the Portuguese speaking would go to because of work,
Yes.
to be able to support their family, to be able to find a better life for themselves and also for the family. Even during the Civil War, obviously, it has left, thousands of refugee all over because of what happened there.
True.
And that was one of main of the reason why my family had to migrate back to Cape Verde. Um, there were many life loss, especially, with my family. There were a few kids that, you know, was lost there, and also uncle and cousins. So, it was a set time for the people that lived there at that time.
Yeah. Um. So, um, you were when you started thinking about your book, Who Am I?
Mhm.
Does it come from stories that you actually documented, growing up, that you decided to put everything together? How did that brainstorm come upon you? What caused it?
Well, the story behind the title of Who Am I? It was actually I myself trying to find myself.
Hmm.
Reasons behind that, because one, after we left Angola, I pretty much grew up with my father's family, who is 100% Cape Verdean.
Yes.
So I had lost all that Angolan heritage, or to know, my maternal mother's background.
Hmm.
And, you know, another part of that, um, growing up and not really have that experience being with your biological mother, it kind of have you, a little lost in life. So it's a cycle that I had to go through life to be able to try to find myself, where I can say that a lot of us sometimes we don't know who we are. We have to go into this deep search to find ourselves, to be able to determine, um, how we are or where we want to be in the near future.
Exactly. And I'm glad. I'm glad that you found yourself. You know who you are, it's seen, through your glow, your book, everything. You definitely had found yourself. We actually never find a whole lot of us, 100%, but you just keep on doing what you're doing,
Hmm.
and I hope you write another book. I really do.
Thank you.
All
I
right.
mean, I would tell you that it's it's not an easy work. Um,
No,
Although we say that I have found myself, but I'm still discovering more of myself day by day because each day we learn something new
hmm,
about, our ability or our capability.
so true, so true. And by the way, congratulations on your family. Um,
Thank you.
reading that book, you know, that was an anticipation during the read. I was like, all right, Superwoman got to find a great family. She's already a great mom, and it all worked out. But I'm gonna be quiet. I'm not gonna tell details of the book. I want people to buy this book. And so here's a let's see. Joanne Demers says, "What a story! Thanks for sharing, Bella Montero. You are a strong woman of substance." Yes, Joanne,
Thank you,
please.
Joanne.
Yeah, thank you, Joanne. Please buy that book. It's definitely very nice, a very good book. Um, so one of the things that um, when you talked about coming, to the United States and settling in Brockton, uh, and I was like, I can so clearly everything you was talking about. I could see, between the landscape, the setting of school and Brockton High School, all those things I seen so clearly, and I'm like, wow. And even some of the things that you went through, and so you did a good job, and the people
Thank
that you work with, that really was something dear to me. That's
you.
why,
Hmm.
and so the I want to a common thing that not a common thing, but one of a realistic thing is that abuses happen, and and they go unheard of and hidden. And what I did was the first thing I did is I took this book and I sent it to a couple of friends that I know their story, and I actually want them to kind of bring their story out in a paperback, just like you did. And so
Okay.
I know that I'm using you as an inspiration for some other people that I know,
Thank
and
you.
yes, I'm trying to push it. There's kind of the same setting, the same upbringing, and, and almost a very similar story. So,
Mhm.
um, do we have some book signings coming up? Anything that you plan on doing?
Well, due to COVID-19, it's kind of tough now, especially with the capacity,
Yeah,
with with the local businesses. What I have been doing as well, I have been taking orders. People would direct their orders through me, where I would be able to mail it to them signed until everything is clear out to be able to host that somewhere.
good, good. You let me know each step of the way so I can make sure that I share it
Thank
um,
you.
on my few pages that I have. So let's see. Michael Silva. He said, "What are the cultural differences between Angolan and Cape Verdean?"
That's a good question. I don't see much of culture differences between them two. I find that there's a lot of similarities. Um, the thing that I can see that I can say that are different, all, the dishes, food. Um, there's one thing they say that Cape Verdean has the voice, but Angolan is the dancer when it comes to art.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the Cape Verdean, although we speak Cape Verdean Creole, but our proper language is Portuguese, where Angola is just Portuguese.
Hmm.
I would say within the two country, you could say you can combine into one culture. There's
Right.
not that much difference.
Okay. Yeah. It's
Besides, besides Angola being in the inside of Africa and Cape Verde being the coast of Africa, but
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You. I'm so that must be fascinating to experience both countries,
Hmm.
both 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 people, along with as it is we both countries are melting pot. There's all kinds of people within both countries to kind of where you get that multicultural um, diversity, multicultural life
Hmm.
skills, so on and so forth.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah,
um,
and another thing is that Angola, the country itself, is more known than Cape Verde. Because Cape Verde is such a small country, 10 islands. Not a lot of people know what Cape Verde is or where they are located. Um,
yeah,
and when it comes to like resource, Angola has more resource than Cape Verde is because Angola is much bigger country than Cape Verde.
yes, yes. Michael Silva asked, will she visit New Bedford to do books, talks, and signings once we have passed COVID-19?
I would be honored and glad to if there's a place that can have me to do the signing.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
there's more than enough, and I'm gonna try to make that happen also, along with a few
Thank you.
others. Yeah, it's too bad. Like the Cape Verdean Association in New Bedford, they usually honor women during the month of March. It's National
Oh,
Women's Month. So what I'm gonna try to prepare or actually suggest to that board is that they keep you in an idea for next year or even years to come. In fact, uh, a very dear friend of mine, Raquel Antunes, I really want to get you guys connected because she's good and she's a
okay.
go getter. So we're
Thank
definitely
you.
gonna let's see. And Joanne says, Michael Silva, I would love that. I want a signed copy. See that? Look at that. Joanne's
Mm,
already. This is
Not a
great.
problem.
Yeah.
Just I'm pretty sure I don't know if she can see my Facebook where she can just send me her information
Hmm.
and then I will be gladly to send her a signed one.
Yeah. I'm usually on top of things. I try to put the links off to the side, but actually, Joanne, you are a member of the Really Charlie podcast group on Facebook. I do have a link for Bella, but what I think is better is that you kind of inbox her and talk to her. That way, there's some kind of dialogue and so on and so forth. But do that. Um, so coming to New Bedford would be special, and you know, and because there's, like I said previously, there's so many stories within the city, within our culture, that are unheard, and I would love to have some of those people, men and women, kind of hear and talk to you, um, just to get that inspiration. And I wish I wish my friend was on the screen right now because I would invite her to the screen, and this so you guys could go back and forth and share some stories. But it's very similar. So
Hmm.
um,
Thank you.
yeah. So someone asked about a book signing, but as Bella said, because of the the restrictions that we have. Those book signings are on hold right now. But if you want a signed copy, please reach out to her on Facebook, Bella Montero. And the title of the book is Who Am I?
Mm-hmm.
So, Bella, what you know, I want to make sure I respect you as an author. So, I could probably say a lot of things about your book, but I don't want to put your story out there unless you want me to, because we are trying to get people to purchase your book. And so, um, what do
We
you
don't
want to
want
talk?
to give out the whole book, but we can
Yeah,
just throw some sample out there,
yeah,
where it'll kind of like trigger
hmm
um, them to want to read the book.
yeah. All right. I mean, motherhood. Your daughter. Great story. I'm glad that happened for you. Um, and how do you do all this? You got a great career. You're an inspiring author, officially an author, and now mummy. How do you put all that together? How do you shuffle all of it?
It's not easy, but it is rewarding. Um, it's you just have to learn how to balance life,
Yeah.
you
hmm
know. Um, I understand that career is important, but we have to understand that family is more important because without a family, um, life is can be pretty much little complicated than it should be.
Yeah.
And without family support, um, we pretty much cannot go ahead without family support. That's definitely a plus.
Yes.
And I'll say that so far I have been blessed because I do have that. Um, my daughter, she's very understanding, very smart young lady, ambitious.
hmm
Um, and her seeing me trying to juggle to do it all, it kind of inspires her to do it too.
Sure.
So, so far it has been, rewarding for me.
hmm Um, is your grandmother still alive? Your mom's mom? Is she still alive?
Yes, yes. Less that I know, yes.
Yeah.
I had actually the pleasure to meet her for the first time when I went to Angola in 2013. I had to drive about 8 hours to get there for me to find
Mm,
her, which she did not expect me to actually be in the country.
yeah.
But I was glad to basically connect with her.
Sure.
Um, she was actually the only living grandmother that I have ever met, or, being able to meet face to face and have a conversation with. So I was glad to be able to see that, to experience that. And it's one thing that actually my daughter mentioned not too long ago because that she would actually like to meet her one day. So our plan is probably after COVID-19 to take a trip there where she can also see where her mother, her grandmother, and sister came from when it comes to my mother's side.
That's awesome. I hope that happens, and God willing, it will. The that was one of when I seen the picture of your grandmother, I was like, wow, remind me of my great grandmother, and I kind of that same type setting, and but she was kind of a strong woman, and
Mm-hmm.
so when I seen that picture, brought a few tears to my eyes thinking about my grandmother. And she was able to leave Cape Verde and come to the United States. Um, and she ended up passing away, years ago, early
Mm-hmm.
80s. So
Mm-hmm.
um, now, do you have some other stories you want to put in paperback? Is there something else you want to do?
I'm actually working on my second book now. It's not, it's halfway done, written. Um, I'm not sure when I'm gonna put it out yet. Um, things like that, sometimes it takes time. You don't want to rush through it because you want to put out good content to the readers.
Yeah,
Um, so we'll see. Probably a couple or 3 years how it goes.
yeah, and you
Hmm.
don't want you don't want the books to kind of conflict with each other, you know.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
and one thing I learned is to always have a book on the shelf, ready for print, and just kind of, you're gonna definitely know when it's time. You're gonna say, okay, things are kind of evening out with who am I, and as far as the orders and everything, maybe it's
Hmm.
time to push another book, and that would be the perfect timing. That's my suggestion. So
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and we I listened to the time that you were on a podcast with Lucy
Hmm.
Catino. I was very, very impressed with that. I actually noticed that she wrote a book also. So because of you, I'm gonna reach out to her and kind of do
Oh,
the same thing. Hopefully she comes on and
mhm.
and
Yeah, she's a great author.
yeah,
Also a great human being. So I'm pretty sure you enjoy to have her on your show. And she actually has more experience with the interview than I do. Yeah.
yeah. So one of the listeners says, looking forward to Bella's next book. See
Thank
that
you.
already. Someone said that I gave some good advice to you, which I try
Thank
to.
you.
Yeah, I
Thank
try. We and so this is positive. This is really positive. This will actually go be here on StreamYard, Facebook, Anchor, Spotify, and YouTube. So
you.
you'll always have this for you to kind of reflect on. And
Hmm.
what I want you to do is just to, if you see something out there, some subject matter, whether it's a person, whether it's just something to talk about, please send me something. Send me a message, and say, Charlie, this might be a good guest for you, because I want to kind of network and
Hmm.
get those stories out there. So,
Yeah. I have some suggestion. I can send you names. Yeah.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
see that? All right,
Yeah.
happy. I'm working on my schedule within. I'm already into the second, going into the
Hmm.
third week of March. So yeah, I'm trying to stay busy, just trying to make sure that
Hmm.
these podcasts are educational and inspirational, like your story, and to get some other stories. So, and
Good.
someone says you're doing great. Yes, of course she is. She's on the Really Charlie podcast. Um, in fact, I'm supposed to make you say "Really, Charlie," but we're still working on that.
Really, Charlie?
See that? You
Thank
did
you,
it.
Charlie.
So, um, and I'm back and forth to your state, you know,
Hmm.
occasionally. So when I do visit, I'm gonna send you a line, or I'm blast a picture on Facebook that you know that I'm in your state, and
Okay.
if we can meet up, I would love to do that. So,
That I'll be glad to.
okay,
Yeah, definitely be glad to.
Bella, anything we're missing? What I really want to make sure I'm on point with you. I want to highlight you. I want this to be. I mean, it's a good experience already, but I want to make sure that we don't miss a message coming directly from you. So, is there anything you want to put out there?
Well, maybe I can cover a little bit about what the book entails.
Sure, sure.
Um, So the book Intel talks about three different countries: Angola, Cape Verde, and also United States. It also talks about the the struggle that we go through life. Basically, trying to find a better future for ourselves. The immigration that our parents has to go through with us, and it also talks about um, child molestation. It talks about domestic violence, and it also talks about mental health, where it's a a huge issue here, not just here but nationally, where we suffer from mental health, but we don't know how to go about it by looking for help. Um, when it comes to that, there's few reasons behind that, either from you know child traumatic situation that we had experienced, or experience that we go through during our adult life. And it's important for us to be able to evaluate ourselves, to see how we are, to be able to look for help.
Hmm.
Because obviously, if we cannot help ourselves, how would we be able to help others?
Yes, and it's very important. Throughout my previous career as a police officer, I was trying to
Hmm.
help out as many people as I could with those similar circumstances. And it's sometimes some people just don't get that message out to
Hmm.
where to go for help and how to do it. Only, and I can never understand that because no one should be a victim. No one should be um, kind of obstructed from telling a story or trying to prevent things that you mentioned. So, um, and which kind of relates to some of the people that I talked about earlier that are inspired by you. Some of them came through my previous career, and that we become
Hmm.
friends, and they have flourished like flowers, where they're, you know, good, productive people, good careers, raising great families. So, but I like to get those stories out. Um,
Hmm.
Someone asked, "Is your book self-published?"
I'm sorry.
Is your book self-published? Um, I don't know. That's
If
a mic.
if the book's self-published,
Yeah. Like, did you got an agent and all that, right?
no,
Or
it's independent published.
yeah. Okay. All right. Yep.
Yeah.
And which is good.
I, I did had a few agent contact me that wanted to publish the book, but I decided to do independently.
Yeah. And that's pretty much what I did.
Yeah.
I like it that way. You know what? Believe it or not, self-published will also teach you the profession, teach you
Hmm.
the it would teach you better than actually just listening. And by trial and error, I
Yeah.
became better
Right.
author just based on those experiences,
Hmm.
even with between editing and formats, all that. It all kind of taught you get taught much better when you're kind
Hmm.
of going through the struggle, as I say, because it is a struggle. Writing a book
Right.
is not easy.
Right.
So so
Yeah.
more profits. Yeah, sometimes those little royalty checks are good. Um,
Right.
some days you have enough money to buy a pizza for the family. Sometimes you might have a little less. But
Hmm.
we, we want Bella Montero to be very, very successful, and I hope that us pushing your book will definitely, you know, um, we got to push the book, share, share, share. All the Cape Verdean and uh, sites. You got to push it on there. Also on the book sites. I like joining a lot of book groups. On Facebook. We got to kind of
Mhm.
share those things. And if 100 to 200 people share your book, guess what? That's going to be something good. It should be.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. And with the book itself, I one of the reason that I actually decided to write this book because one, it wasn't just for me to be able to speak about my story, but I felt that it will give others opportunity to talk about their story, like you mentioned in the beginning. Um, and especially, things that they go through in life, they don't know how to talk about. um, I would say it's, being able, even if you're not able to write it or put it public, but it gives you an opportunity to reach out to someone, either your friends, your family member. Again, when it comes to kind of mental health, it also helps you seek out for help when it comes to professional help. And
Yeah.
it's a story that I felt that anyone can relate to, either if you're a female, male. I wouldn't recommend children to read it.
Hmm.
There's an age limit there, but it's a story that I feel that anyone can relate to because it's things that we go through in life.
So true. So true. Well, Bella, I don't want to leave you, but I definitely try to get everything that we possibly could, and get you out there. I'm going to continue to share, this podcast, share your book, and keep in contact with you also. I'm going to do that.
Thank you.
And so you follow my page, I follow yours.
Mhm.
We'll keep that contact going. And, but you get an A+ for your book. And I hope that you continue with your writing.
Thank you. Thank you. The book is also available on Amazon if anyone that, is looking to make the purchase now, to read the story. It's a great story. I'm pretty sure you're gonna enjoy reading the story.
Awesome.
Or they can directly contact me. I'm sure there's a link on your page and also my page where they can just click on.
Yeah. And sometimes it's better just to click on the website because then
Yeah.
records everything. It records your sales and so on and so forth. And then actually they can go ahead and kind of slip that review. We need good reviews for you. So, that would be nice. So,
Hmm.
Bella, all right. Bella,
Okay.
God bless you. High five your daughter, husband for me. I love
Thank
you
you.
guys. And
Thank
keep up
you.
the good work. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you
No,
for this opportunity. Stay well.
you
And
too.
thank you for everybody else that's watching this. It's a great
Uh,
show.
awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bella Montero, author of Who Am I? You can purchase her book on Amazon.com. Definitely a great read. Staying in my library, it's staying on my shelf. Definitely a great, great story. I got to credit Chef Wayne Reese for tagging me and telling me to reach out to her. And that was good. And that's what we're talking about on the Really Charlie podcast. We're trying to get the guest on that educational, inspirational, and whew, we have this week's guest coming up. We're going to have a couple of people that I know. One is Robbie Mendes from the New Bedford Boys and Girls Club. We will have Nathan Victor on. He was a heart patient. We got his story coming on. Jasmine Gonzalez. We got her coming on. Joshua and Sharon Davis about their fitness program. So we got some great stories coming up this week. But do not forget Bella Montero, Who Am I? Amazon.com. Make sure you purchase that book. I never steered you wrong. In conclusion, mask those beautiful faces, hand sanitize your hands, wash your hands, and stay safe, everyone. Hey, Shakira, how you doing? Hello. Please review this podcast, Shakira. Inspiring story, And actually, I see a comment here. Get James Butler, next author. Yes, I will. I will reach out to Mr. Butler and get him on here. Um, yeah, actually has another a great book also, so I will do that. All right. God bless y'all. Stay tuned. Got quite a few shows this week. God bless. Thank you.